Hello and welcome to KML Carmel. We apologize for technical difficulties. We did not realize our audio was off, but welcome to senior night at KMC. Great way to start it off there is we were unbeknownst to our ignorance. And we'll get right back into things as Andrew, give us a quick synopsis of what you've seen so far.
Well, it hasn't been a very high-scoring game, but both teams playing disciplined basketball. KMC trying to find their scores and trying to get into a rhythm here, trying to put the gas on Northwest, trying to jump out to that large lead. We'll see what happens. And Northwest trying to get to their playmakers. Edwards hit 2 threes, one late in to end the first quarter and early in the second quarter. So we'll see if they continue to get it to her.
And I think that's going to be definitely something the North is going to want to do. And in the same respect, I think Kapaun is definitely going to start looking at Sophia Jamino a little bit more. She had that big three-point shot, but that is the only shot we've seen from her thus far. Only shot that went in, that is. And she's a great scorer, but more so she's a great leader. And I think whenever the ball is in her hands, Kapaun's going to have a more productive time on offense, and that's definitely obviously something they're going to want to do. And now another block shot here for KMC as Jamino races up the court. Jamino in transition, way up, no good off the backboard and off the feet of Kais. And so that'll be Northwest basketball. And Andrew, what has worked for Kapaun thus far?
Well, all season long they've been getting it to their playmakers and letting them do their thing. I don't see McCoy Pfister. She has not joined the game yet, but Lizzie Romer and Sophia Jamino have been a great source of offense for this team. Earlier in the season, they combined for 42 points, and they just play off of each other. If one is playing great, the other will play great, and they just feed off that energy. And they're both great leaders, so this is senior night, and potentially Sophia Jamino's last game at home, so she's looking to make this game count and show up for these KMC fans.
And after that Lauren Kai's basket, Kapaun retakes the lead, and so now we will see how Northwest responds. And now, after Richard corrals it, she kicks it over to Robinson, who kicks it back to Barburl. Barburl, sidestep, no basket, and no shot, that is. Looks like Sasha Reed going to be called with a moving screen. And that would be the team's 5th foul.
And if I'm KMC, I'm wanting to jump out to that big lead, put a storm of points on Northwest, and just put some pressure on them to score and to move the ball. KMC just needs to go back to what they've been doing all season long.
And there's some pressure from Northwest right there. Let's see if it works. And KMC doing a great job there, not letting the pressure get to them, able to break the press. And Andrew, that's something they've struggled with a little bit this season. But there shows some great growth and maturity there from KMC, able to break the press and score on offense. Really just a great job exploiting what Northwest had shown to them. So now we see Sadie Sanders bring it up for KMC. Now Spears surveys, gets it back to Sanders. Sanders inside pass to Kais. Kais tries to pass it out, but now a foul can be called on the floor. And we'll see if this is on. And that will be on Robinson. And that will be the team's 6th foul, so they're on the doorstep of putting KMC into the bonus as Sophia Jamino re-enters the game, and she will inbound under the KMC basket. And now it looks like Northwest will call a timeout. And that'll be the second of theirs. They'll have 3 remaining. And so, Andrew, obviously Kapaun's still up in this game. What's something you think they could work on as we enter the final stages of the first half?
Well, Coach Graff is probably talking to them right now, trying to get a dramatic amount of points right now. This doesn't look like the KMC team I'm used to seeing. They haven't had as many nice, good passes as they have in the past. They haven't had bad passes, but just not as many. It just doesn't feel like the same KMC team. This Northwest team feels like a team that KMC should be leading more by at this point.
And honestly, Andrew, I think there's some truth to that, but I think that we've seen some glimpses of what KMC is all about, just trying to run their offense to the best of its ability, trusting that offense is going to produce obviously offensively, but just produce points. And I think they've learned over the course of the season, you have to trust the offense, and you're going to get out what you put in, I should say. Now, flipping the script, what do you think Northwest could do better, or what have they done well, as a matter of fact?
Well, one thing that they could do better is they've had some silly turnovers. Right there, a travel by Robinson, and then just silly mistakes by them. And if they want to shorten this KMC lead, they need to work on those. But they've also done a good job of holding KMC close. You can tell that they've watched some KMC film, and they're familiar with their game.
And now Barbaro kicks it over to Edwards. Edwards back to Navarrete. Navarrete over to Richard. Now back to Navarrete. Navarrete able to knock that one down from three. Narrows the deficit to just 1 point. And here comes KMC. Jamino really pushing the pace here, trying to speed things up. And I think Kapaun has definitely done better when they've kind of forgotten their offensive arrangements and just trying to push the ball as much as possible into the paint and trying to put up as many shots as possible. I mean, that's part of the reason I think KMC sometimes gets into slumps or, droughts scoring-wise. Just because there have been games this season where they fail to put up a shot. They're too worried about maybe passing and trying to create for themselves rather than just taking the shot when it presents itself. And they've done a pretty solid job here tonight getting those shots up. That's still something they're going to have to work on as we head into playoff time, just getting shots up. I mean, you can't get points if you don't shoot a basketball. And now Edwards, shot good in transition. That gives Northwest back the lead. And none of this is said out of criticism or anything like that, but there definitely have been some sore spots for KMC so far this season. And honestly, I think they've improved in a lot of them, and I think the fact that they have this ever improving, ever maturing mindset when it comes to their style of play, it really excites me to see what they're going to do in the playoffs.
Yeah, at the beginning of the season, they had a lot of bloodshed, and they're really working on that team and just figuring it out, working out the kinks, and just getting ready for playoff time, making sure nothing is wrong with this offense, and making sure that the defense is tight but not too aggressive.
And now foul going to be called. And it will be on Barbaro. And it'll be 1-1, as that will be the Northwest 7th team foul here tonight. Northwest Grizzlies, I should say, a 7th team foul. And so that will send Lizzie Romer to the line for 2 shots. I mean, if they were going to foul anyone to send to the line, they hate for it to be Lizzie Romer. And she's a pretty lethal shooter and a pretty great free throw shooter at that. And first one down.
Yeah, she's a great shooter all around. And you can pretty much automatically write that one into the score column.
And unable to convert on the second shot. Now, after a missed three, it will be Northwest basketball. And now Barbaro with it for Northwest. Drives. Facing a double team. Finally gets it away. Gets it to Edwards. Edwards back to Barbaro. A deep three. That is no good. Rebound falls into the hands of Simpson, who was unable to convert. Now back to Barbaro, who airballs a shot, and then now at the end of regulation in halftime, not regulation, excuse me, halftime, there will be a foul called, and that will send Simpson to the line for 2 shots. And that will end the half, or these shots will end the half, that is. And so very exciting, potentially having a tie game. Let's see what Simpson can do. High shot off the backboard. That one's going to be no good.
And Gabe, going into the halftime break, before that, Northwest was trying to throw up a couple of those shots, and none of those landed in the neighborhood of the basket. Just some of them felt silly, just throwing them up just for no reason, just because it's halftime. But
and
at least they were able to get to the free throw line. That's what matters, right?
Exactly right. And with that, we will step aside here. Join us back in about 10 minutes after the halftime performance by the KMC Pommies for the second half of action in the KMC girls versus the Northwest girls. Andrew, any closing thoughts before we head to the locker room?
Well, if KMC is going to change anything, I expect this to be a runaway victory for them. I'm looking for them to just play the game like they normally do.
And with that, we'll step aside. Hello and welcome back to KMC for senior night, in which we will see Cape and Mount Carmel taking on Northwest at home. And Andrew, score right now 17-16, Cape up by 1 as we enter the third quarter of play. What have you seen so far?
Well, it hasn't been the most exciting matchup, but both teams finding a way to score, finding a way to get to the free throw line. And, I mean, I wouldn't say there's been wasted possessions, but not every possession has been used to its full extent. And it hasn't really both teams aren't really capitalizing on mistakes by each other.
And there's a mistake right there, and that gives KMC their first offensive possession of the half. And now Romer going to be called, or excuse me, is going to be going to the line as foul called on Navarrete.
A great effort by Romer getting down the court and getting to the free throw line.
And now Romer able to hit her first shot. She's now 2 for 3 on the night. Let's see if she can make it 3 for 4. And no good on the shot there. And now Northwest only down by 2. Potentially here to tie on this possession. And no, travel going to be called, and that will be KMC possession. And now KMC looking to turn their lead into a 2-possession lead. And now Spears for 3. That is no good and out of bounds. And so now it'll be Northwest ball. And we talked about this a little bit in the first half, but talk to me a little bit about, how detrimental empty possessions like what we just saw from Northwest and Cape in there.
Well, it just slows the game down. Both teams aren't getting that momentum, and they're not going on long scoring runs to ensure their victory. This has been a tight game from the beginning, and both teams, they're just not able to get much space and room to grow and get some shots off. But when they are able to get some shots off, both teams have been able to get them to fall and get some big points from those big three-pointers.
And so now Reed able to hit her first. She'll miss her first, and she'll make her second free throw. And that, again, shrinks the lead to just 1 point. And now KMC with the ball. Jacobs kicks it back up to Spears. And now back to Wofford. Wofford tries to get inside the Romer, but that will be deflected and ends up in the hands of Navarrete. Navarrete up to Richard, and Richard able to hit that one. And that gives Northwest back the lead. Now KMC playing from behind. Andrew, how aggressive do you see KMC being here in these final stages of the game?
Well, they haven't been as aggressive as they have been all season. And I really want to see some just big plays from them. Make it look like Northwest are taking naps on them and just fly past them, get some big buckets, maybe hit some three-pointers from Lizzie Romer and Sophia Gimino. But just do all they can to get out to a big lead.
And that will be KMC's second team foul of the half. As now Northwest heading the other way. I think we've seen Northwest play a little bit slower, more methodical on offense. Andrew, can you speak a little bit to that?
Well, they're trying to find their shots. Edwards has been a key part, number 1 down there on your screen. She's been a key part of their scoring from the beyond the arc. And great job by them right there to be able to create that drive to the basket. And this Northwest team, it's more like a helicopter taking flight instead of a super fast jet taking flight. It'll take some time, but once they're off the ground, they'll get going.
And Andrew, Northwest taking a timeout here. To be honest, I'm a little puzzled here by the move. Not that a coach can't, always use a little bit of extra time with his or her players. But, that being said, Northwest was on a nice little run there, and that only leaves them with 2 timeouts in the contest. And this is a pretty tight game.
Yeah, it seemed odd to stop the momentum that they're going. They were feeling really great and creating some real opportunities. So let's see if coming out of the timeout they can sustain that.
Now Offer gets it to Jacobs. And now Jamino gets it to Jacobs again. And Jacobs played a lot of minutes here tonight. Now we see Pfister for the first time. Pfister unable to hit that one from 3, and Reed comes up with the rebound for Northwest. Now heading the other way is Barbaro. And now Barbaro. Deep 3-point shot, no good. And rebound goes to Pfister. Pfister blows past Edwards, loses it. And now foul going to be called. We'll see who this is on. It looks like it might be on Richard. And indeed it is. That will be her first personal foul and team foul number 2 for Northwest.
And Gabe, it's great to see Pfister back in this contest. She has been a great scorer for KMC, and we didn't see much of her from the first half. And she's just a big part of this offense, and she provides a great spark.
And now Offer over to Jamino, and Pfister just one of the team's brightest underclassmen. And I'm really excited to see what she can do in her upperclassmen years. Now Jamino with the steal. And that is eventually stolen back by Northwest, but still a great move there by Jamino. Able to apply a little bit of pressure to the Northwest ball handlers. And now Richard for 3. That's no good. Rebound goes to Reed. Reed blocked from behind by Jacobs. And now a deep 3, no good, and saved by Reed. And she misses that shot, and that goes to Jamino for the rebound. And now nice move from Romer to get inside and the basket. And Andrew, that was a pretty move by Romer to cut it now to 1 point as Northwest leads 21-20.
Romer has been patient tonight, waiting to hit those jets and fly past that defense and be able to score on that beautiful layup right there.
And exactly right. And I think it's going to be a key for Mount Carmel is just driving the ball as much as possible. It will obviously result in points, but it's also going to open things up and really force the ref to call his whistle. And, especially in tight games like this, giving up foul shots can really take a toll on your overall success in the game. And, Andrew, this will be Cape Mount Carmel's first timeout of the end, 4 remaining. However, they're leading in the timeout differential. They have 4, and Northwest only has 2. And as I said earlier, in tight games like this, that can really, really impact, a team down the stretch. Just being able to stop the game and implement something in those crucial minutes. What do you think about that?
Well, going down the stretch, KMC will have those extra timeouts, like you were saying. In case of like a bang-bang play, they'll be able to slow the ball down, relax, get back into that rhythm, and hopefully hit some big shots going down the stretch.
Now, Navarite gets it back to Barbaro. Barbaro drives on Pfister, and that's no good. Now Barbaro inbound as Pfister picks up her first personal foul, team foul number 3 for KMC. And Simpson loses it. It's on the floor, and Wofford recovers, but foul, or excuse me, no, jump ball going to be called. And so KMC will have possession. Now Pfister gets it back to Jamino. Jamino back to Pfister. Pfister back to Romer. Romer, mid-range jumper blocked by Barbaro. Now here come the Grizzlies. Barbaro trying to get back to to get past Jamino, but can't. And she eventually passes it out to Edwards. Now Edwards gets it back to Barbaro. Barbaro kicks back to Navarrete. Navarrete for three. That is no good. Rebounded by Kais, who gets it to Pfister on the outlet pass. And now Pfister pushing it up the court for KMC. She drives. Tries to get inside to Jacobs. Gets the ball back herself. And now Jacobs able to convert on the two-point basket. And that will give Caven back the lead.
And great job, KMC, moving the ball around, forcing Northwest to knot up and get close together, and then it creates a wide open shot for Emily Jacobs.
And now Barbaro going to pick up her second personal foul. Going to be team foul number 3 for Northwest, as now Simpson comes off the court in favor of Vincent Robinson. Now Pfister, nice pass inside to Kais. Kais unable to get that shot to go, but gets her own rebound. Kicks it back out to Romer. Romer for three. That is no good. Rebounded that time by Barbaro. Barbaro up to Robinson inside to Richard. Richard no good. That goes off the bottom of the backboard and goes to Romer for the rebound. And now Romer hit from behind, and that'll be another foul on Northwest. It'll be team foul number 4. And it'll be accredited to Richard. And that'll be her second personal. Now, a loose ball and another foul going to be called. And that is going to be on Lizzie Romer, it appears.
And Romer took a hard hit right there. That is always tough. I don't know if I could take that hit. And Northwest is just trying to relax here and stay calm and collected. Get back this lead from KMC.
Now Jamino gets the rebound. Nice behind the back dribble. She takes it coast to coast, and good on the layup. Really showing out for her senior night. Great series of moves there by Jamino for the basket.
Great move. And Sophia Jamino delivers again for this KMC offense.
Now Reed with it. Gets over to Robinson. Robinson looks around. Tries to get to Edwards, but all passing lanes clogged up, and she eventually gets it over to Richard. And now Richard gets it to Reed. Reed back to Navarrete. Navarrete finds Robinson. And now Robinson breaks open for three. That's no good. And blocked shot, and now foul going to be called. Now we on Emily Jacobs as Reed heads to the line for 2 shots. First one's no good. And KMC now heading in to the final quarter of play with 5 team fouls. Definitely something they're going to have to keep in mind, as they don't want to put Northwest into the bonus, and now Lizzie Romer enters the game alongside Myra Nichols. And another thing to keep in mind, Romer with 3 personal fouls. Definitely something she wants to be aware of. And now with just 16 seconds on the clock, Reed takes her second shot. That one is good. Cuts the lead to 2 points. Now Germino brings up the court for KMC. And now Germino looks around, drives, loses in, falls. And looks like Germino might have felt some contact there, but no whistle. And now with 3.5 seconds remaining, KMC and Northwest will make some substitutions as Northwest tries to get something to go in here. Now, deep shot, no good, and that will end the quarter 24-22 with KMC up by 2.
And a good attempt on that final shot, but it seems a little strange that she didn't inbound it a little bit closer to the bucket right there.
Can't disagree with you there, but overall, great showing from both sides here tonight so far. I'm really excited to see what this fourth quarter holds. It's a tight game, and as we said, Northwest with only 2 timeouts, so those will have to be used wisely here in the final stages. But regardless, Andrew, what are some keys for both sides as we enter the final quarter?
Well, it has been a very defensive battle here tonight. Both teams stayed on the track. It's not a wreck. I haven't seen bad basketball, and both teams doing their thing. KMC still, they haven't been in the same rhythm they have been all year long, and that's not something you would like to see going into the playoffs. They need to find the rhythm this final quarter, get away from Northwest, and come away with this lead.
And let's see if they can do just that, as Northwest will start out with the ball here. And here we go, as Barbaro surveys on Northwest's opening possession. Gets it over to Edwards. Edwards drives, puts up a shot. That's no good. Rebounded by Barbaro, who is fouled. And we'll head to the line for 2 shots.
Now add another foul to KMC's growing foul column.
And interesting to see Northwest here, no rebounders. And it'll be interesting to see is, they don't believe they can beat KMC in the rebound game. And so, it's an interesting concept, but we'll see how it works for them as they're able to get back on defense rather quickly here. Able to present any transition baskets. And I will say it is one area KMC has really excelled in, is been the transition game, especially on offense. And now Romer with another shot, and that one's good as well. From 3-point range, that expands the Capen's lead to now 4 points. And Andrew, we're starting to see Capen, kind of light it up on offense here. What do you think has led to that?
Well, they're creating great shots and great passing, going back to what they have done all season long. As you saw in that Romer 3-pointer, they just get it to her and she does her thing. She gets off a great shot and she gets KMC that 3-pointer. And she is a great source of offense. Now
another turnover here as Northwest gets the ball back with the opportunity to take the lead. And definitely momentum on their side right now. And Edwards passes over to Richard. Richard over to Robinson. Robinson for 3. That's no good. As Barbaro able to get the rebound, and that gives Northwest their first lead since the third quarter. And now Spears tries to make something happen. Kicks it over to Loffer. Loffer Surveys, finds Romer. Romer nearly stripped there. But now Offer, hook shot, no good. Rebound goes to Romer. Off the Navarrete tip. And now it looks like Romer going to be fouled. She'll head to the line for 2 shots. And the opportunity to take the lead. And that will be, that would be Northwest's 5th team foul. And Navarrite's 3rd personal foul. Now Jacobs enters the game for Maddie Spears. As Romer unable to convert on the first shot. Able to hit the second, that ties it up at 28. And, Andrew, a lot of people might look at a game where there's only 56 combined points and think that's a really low-scoring game. But personally, I'm a big fan of defensive basketball, and that's just another sign that this has been a really hard-fought defensive matchup. I don't see it changing here as we enter the final stages.
Well, unfortunately, not all fans love a very defensive matchup. I prefer a very offensive matchup, hitting big three-pointers. And that's one thing I love about this KMC team. They always find the open teammate, and they exceed along the three-point line.
And Graf not happy about that decision there by the ref, but regardless, it'll be Northwest basketball. And so now we see Barbaro with a chance to expand Northwest's lead. Passes it over to Richard. Richard drives, kicks out to Reed. Reed, pump fake, kicks over to Robinson. Robinson, nice hesitation. Air balls to Charlever, ends up in the hands of Barbaro. Barbaro back to Edwards. Edwards with the open three-point shot. That's no good. Rebounded by Jacobs. Jacobs over to Jamino. Jamino gets it to a nice inside feed to Romer. And a nice lay-in, ties it all up at 30. Great feed there by Jamino. And really just a great philanthropist for her team. And Robinson, no good on three-point shot. Tipped out of bounds. It looks like that will be off of Emily Jacobs. And
Northwest is not letting KMC grab those balls with comfort. They are being aggressive, and they know it's a tight game. Both teams are playing tight defense and making sure nothing goes away.
And another loose ball ends up in the hands of Richard. Richard puts up a shot. That's no good. Rims out. And now Romer brings up the court. Goes coast to coast. No good. And foul going to be called. We'll see who this one's on. We got Robinson. Her third and team foul number 6.
And both teams one foul away from getting the bonus. And great make by Lizzie Romer, putting KMC up by 1. And
Romer really just an elite shooter. And she does a great job of getting into those open spots, making it obvious for her teammates to get her the ball in positions where she can really impact the game and really knock down those three-pointers. And here comes Barbaro. Barbaro, nice dribble move, puts up a shot, and that's no good off the front rim. As now Romer. And Romer going to be fouled by Barbaro. And that will be the 7th team foul for Northwest. And that enters Kapaun into the bonus.
And this is always an interesting state in the game. Northwest will likely be less aggressive on defense, not trying to get KMC to the free throw line, trying to preserve those attempts.
Romer able to knock down both attempts there. And expands the KMC lead to 3 points. And you talked about early in this half, Andrew, just how important it was for KMC to start expanding the lead and trying to hold on to a more substantial lead. This is a great chance for them to do just that. A nice defensive stop here. They have the opportunity to go up by 2 possessions, and that's a key step in holding a more substantial lead, I would say.
And at this point in the game, before the game would have started, I would have assumed KMC would have had a much larger lead. But with the lead that they've had and the game that has played out, they have done a great job of playing through that adversity and making everything count right there. Great job.
Great job there by Wofford. Able to knock down the shot and get to the line for one more at the charity stripe. Now with the opportunity to go up by 6. Wofford does just that. Now Kapaun leading 36-30. And we'll see a timeout by Northwest here. They will have a single timeout remaining in the contest. And, we talked about this, throughout the game. But these timeouts become crucial for a team in the final minutes. And now that we get down to it, Northwest will only have 1, as we have over 3 minutes left to play. And it's only a 6-point game here.
That is so true. If I were Northwest, that final timeout will be very vital if this is a close game and they need a last second shot.
And now we will see KMC take the court. And be Northwest basketball. As they look to get back in this contest. Maybe they have something drawn up out of the timeout, but regardless, they definitely need some offensive production here. And a nice runner here from Richard goes nowhere, and now whistle blown and foul going to be called. This one going to be on Dramino. Her 3rd personal, and it'll be team foul number 7 for KMC.
And Gabe, let's see if Richard can provide some health to this Aileen offense. They haven't really gotten much going after KMC went on that 6-point scoring lead.
And Richard able to hit the first shot for Northwest, and so see another on the 1-and-1 opportunity. And able to knock down the second as well. And Jamil will bring it up for KMC. It's over to Sanders. Sanders finds Wofford. Wofford tries to get inside of Kais and does, but it's off a deflection, so she's forced to kick it back out to Jamil. Now back to Romer up top. That's a 3-point shot. That's good.
And great job by Jamino kicking that ball out and using her great IQ and knowing where the ball is to create a great shot for Romer. She just has a great way with her teammates and a great basketball IQ.
And Graf with, a comfortable amount of timeouts here in the last 2:25 takes one here to prevent a turnover as Jamino was in a little bit of trouble there in the corner. But regardless, KMC growing their lead, now up by 7 with 2:25 remaining. I hate to say this, Andrew, but if KMC can turn it up and Northwest can't get something going offensively, it might be wraps for Northwest here tonight.
Yeah, if they can't get anything going, and KMC is able to offset their offense, it might as well be over.
Now Jamino gets it over to Sanders for the inbound. Gets kicked back to Jamino as she brings it up. And again, this is Jamino's senior night. She's willing to leave it all out there, and I think she's going to do just that. And she's already had a tremendous impact on this game as both a facilitator and a scorer. Now we see Robinson in transition for Northwest. Robinson gets the ball poked out from behind. And it will be Northwest basketball. And now Maddie Spears checks in.
And with 2 minutes left, I wouldn't say it's a crisis at the moment, but if Northwest wants to get into this game, they're going to need to find some points here.
Now another missed shot, this time rebounded by Barbaro. Now the KMC lead cut to just 5 points as we enter the final 2 minutes of the game. Jamino slows things down, sizes up the defense, and now Jamino fouled rather hard here. This time on Robinson. And that'll be team foul number 9 for Northwest, on the verge of sending Cape into the double bonus.
And as you saw there, Jamino was wide open for the three-pointer, but I trust that she is a great reader of this offense, and she knew exactly where to put that ball. And it all works out. She got to the free throw line, and she knocked down her first shot.
And so she'll take one more at the charity stripe. And that one more will go down. As now Barbaro brings it up. And now Edwards loses it in the corner, guarded by Romer. Now a double team from Kais. And a timeout going to be called. And that'll be Northwest final timeout of the contest. And almost a nightmarish situation here for Northwest. Down by 7 with 1:19 remaining.
And Gabe, Northwest, with this timeout, they could just be trying to preserve their registration in this game, trying to stay in it. They're down by 7 points, and they're just trying to get something going here.
And I don't like to say they're in the neighborhood of a comeback, but it's definitely hard here with no timeouts remaining and down by 7. It's a 3-possession contest. It's definitely going to be hard. It's definitely going to be challenging, but you never want to say never, especially when it comes down to these crucial games that have rather large implications when it comes to the playoffs. And so we'll see what happens here as this potentially the final timeout of the contest. Graf still with 3 to play with.
Yeah, Northwest is certainly not throwing the towel in, or in this case, the shooting sleeve.
Now inbound goes to Barbaro. Barbaro leads her team in scoring with 13 of her own. And talking about leading her team in scoring, Lizzie Romer with 23 points on the night, Andrew.
Yeah, even though Romer is only a junior, she's showing that KMC has a bright future. When her senior night occurs next year, she'll be ready, and hopefully next season brings a lot when Romer's a senior and she can lead this team.
And Andrew, a big 3-point shot there from Robinson. But regardless, that cuts the KMC lead now down to just 4 points. And so we were pretty quick there to say that Northwest had a difficult road to come back, but all told, they're still in this thing. 2-possession game now, and KMC really felt the pressure there against the Northwest press. And so definitely going to be interesting to see what Northwest comes out with here. And now Romer gets the inbound. And now Germino gets fouled. So she will head to the line for 2 shots, as that is the 10th team foul for Northwest. That will send Kapaun into the double bonus. And now Germino takes her time. Able to knock down the first.
And every point is putting just a little bit more pressure on Northwest. And Gabe, I really think that they're feeling that right now. They're wanting to get back in this game, and KMC is not letting it happen.
And second one goes in as well. And Romer going to be called for a foul here. That'll be her 4th personal, team foul number 8 for KMC.
And luckily this is not in the first or second quarter, because if Romer had this many fouls, that would be trouble for KMC. Luckily, this game's almost over. KMC can relax about that. They won't have to worry as much.
And so now Barbaro takes her time, puts her first shot up. That is good. Now with the opportunity to cut the lead to just 4 points once again. Still a 2-possession game regardless. But this would certainly help in the comeback. That one good. And so now a substitution for KMC as Kais heads off and Sadie Sanders comes on. Now Germino gets it over to Spears. Spears up the court to Pfister. Pfister over in the corner. That's Romer. Romer going to be fouled. So she will head to the line for 2 shots. First one good. And Romer unable to make her second there. And so racing up the court, that's Richard. She gets over to Robinson. Robinson falls. And on the floor, a jump ball will be called. Or no, a travel. And so that would be KMC basketball. It's now KMC. That's a big stroke of luck there. And now an immediate foul. And Barbaro's 4th. And team foul number 12. And sends Pfister to the line for 2 shots. Pfister going first.
And Gabe, just like a waiter who won't bring the check, Northwest is not letting KMC finish this game out easy. They're prolonging their KMC's victory.
And now Navarite. And here comes KMC. But the lead cut down once again to only 4 points. And so with some missed free throws here, there is some clearing in the meadow for Northwest.
Now, we have mentioned Northwest has 0 timeouts, so if they're going to want to get they have to get a couple shots off, they're going to need to hurry and get some good planning and a good strategy.
And so Graf will take a timeout here. He'll have 1 remaining. And after Pfister's first make, KMC goes up by 5. And an additional piece of information there is Kamara Barber, Northwest's leading scorer, fouls out of the contest there with her 5th personal foul. And so it'll be very interesting to see who Northwest turns to in these final seconds.
And that is always tough late in the game when foul trouble claims your best player. Northwest will have to figure out how to rebound from that. And they're down by 5, 2 possessions. Not much time left. We'll see what they can do. And Gabe, this was a pretty close contest all game long until that final 4th quarter when, like a volcano, KMC erupted with scoring and they let it rain on Northwest.
And after second free throw miss, under 10 seconds remain as Northwest races up the court, and now a shot airballed and out of bounds. With exactly 4 seconds remaining, it will be KMC basketball. And definitely a fun contest here for KMC. And Sophia Germino retires for the final time here on senior night. And with that, that will end the game. And game called after, even the foul called, game will be called. And with that, the final score will be 47-42. We will now step aside for KMC's 2023 senior night for Winter Athletics. And Andrew, it's been a pleasure commentating with you.
It's been great, Gabe.
And once again, final score 47-42. Join us in about 20 to 25 minutes for the boys' side of action.
Joey has been a manager for 4 years. Her favorite memory is playing Uno with Gracie and the boys in the band on the way to state last year. Joey plans to attend either KU or WSU. She's undecided right now. Next, Dominic Shipley. Members of St. Thomas Aquinas Parish. He's played basketball for 4 years and participates in football and track. His favorite memory is he played in camp this past summer and got plans to study engineering in college. Dominic Shipley. Boys basketball players are again. Members of St. Thomas Aquinas Parish. Nathan's played basketball for 12 years. His favorite memory is going to play basketball camp in the summer and winning the tournament. Nathan is undecided right now by his future plans. Nathan Williams. Now we're going to welcome our senior girls. First up is Sophia Janino. Sophia is the daughter of Jack Janino, members of Lakeland Parish. She's played basketball for 4 years, participates in golf, track, broadcasting, National Honor Society, Crusader Council, and peer ministry. Sophia's favorite memory is being Northwest in the first round of sub-state in her freshman year. Sophia will attend West Point to throw javelin and study pre-med. Julia is a part of the members of St. Thomas Aquinas Parish. She's played basketball 2 years, managed 1, and has participated in sports medicine. Julia's favorite memory was her freshman year with C-Team, morning practices, and donuts. Also suiting up for varsity sophomore year with Elliot when they would meet Bishop Carroll at Sub-State. Julia. Next up, Emily Stewart. Emily's daughter of Constable Stewart. They're members of St. Thomas Aquinas Parish. Emily's played basketball 3 years and managed 1. She participates in peer ministry, National Honor Society, cross country, Crusaders for Life, student ambassadors, teaching academy, and peer mentoring, ceramics club, and the captain and liturgy club. Emily's favorite memory is going to Pittsburgh this past summer and listening to Sophia trying to get married in relationship advice. Ellie Stewart. Next is Ellie Stewart. Ellie is she's played basketball 4 years and soccer for 2. Her favorite memory is on the way back from the El tournament when she and some of her teammates were singing along with songs with Coach Ingalls that were playing in the car. Emily's plans to attend Butler Community College next year, and then KU, and major in sports psychology. Eloise Thorpe. She's been a Poppy 4 years and been the Pop captain for 2. She participates in the yearbook, Hay Club, the St. John Health Academy, Sacristan, and Family Captain. Alva's favorite memory is her senior year NBA camp, getting the bond with her team and dance together every day for a week. Alva plans to attend Theater Arts Preparatory School in Las Vegas, Nevada. Alva Davis. Next up is Caroline Miller. Caroline has been a 4 years, participates in National Honor Society, tennis, student athlete leadership team, St. John and Crusader Council, where she is president of her house, the St. Ignatius of Loyola. Caroline's favorite memories are team championship, but particularly taking first place this past summer in the elite team dance division, competing in the team leader, competing in team leaders and captain with Brad and Alba, and game as a member of the NBA All-American team. Caroline will attend Texas Christian University in Thursday. Next up, Eva Wynn. He was a daughter of 10 and Rosalind Wynn. Her members of St. Thomas Aquinas. Eva has danced for 13 years and has been a Pommy for 3 years. Her favorite memories are winning gold at the NBA dance camp this year and having team dinners together before every game. Eva plans to attend Wichita State University and major in psychology. Eva Wynn. And our final Pommy senior is Brenna Woodward. Brenna is the daughter of Matt and Kristen Woodward. They're members of St. Thomas Aquinas. She's been a Pommy for 4 years, and her favorite memory is the annual Pommy sleepover with all the girls. Brenna plans to attend Kansas State University next year. Brenna Woodward. And how about one last big hand for all of our KMC senior Pommies, girls and boys basketball. And we are out of town. We do have 2 more things for us. We do want to take this time right now to recognize Carmel senior Will Exio for accomplishing a significant milestone in this country. And one last hand for our KMC seniors. And now it's time for, I'd like to invite your attention to David Senior Will Exio. And we're going to celebrate him for a significant milestone. Last
Hello and welcome to Cape Mount Carmel, home of your Crusaders, who tonight will be facing off against the Northwest Grizzlies. The Crusaders come into tonight 17-1, and they'll be facing off against the Grizzlies, who are 12-7. Sophia, what excites you about this matchup?
Yeah, so last time they played very physical game, fast pace. I know the Grizzlies are here, and they're gonna play their hearts out, bring a lot of energy. And likewise for the Crusaders, you know, it's senior night, all these seniors out here, they're ready to play, and they're going to go hard, and that's for sure.
And after some chaos off the tip-off, it looks like Northwest will have the ball here first.
And for Northwest, their starters are number 2, Tayshawn Williams, number 5, Eli Benning, number 10, David Hudspeth, number 22, Jerome Glover, and number 24, LJ Phillips.
And as we get started here, it looks like a potential injury. Bo Dalian's slow to get up. Looks like the wind might have got knocked out of him there or something like that. Just a hard hit to the ground. But with that, looks like we'll get right into the starting lineups as Bo Dalian is accompanied by Dominic Shibley, number 3 on your screen, number 5, Nathan Wigging, number 24, Maxwell Keller, and of course, number 0, Will Ancio. And Sophia, as we get into Capen's first offensive possession, Ancio, of course, the last time out, celebrating his 1,000th career point with KMC.
Yeah, and that's a huge mark for any player. And so great to see him, you know, reach that mark and, you know, get his 1,000th point. And I'm sure we'll see more from him tonight.
And something to, you know, hone in on with Ancio is the fact that not only has he been such a productive scorer, he's been an efficient one as well. With almost every one of his last 5 games, he's been in the high 80 to almost 95 percentile when it comes to his shooting percentages.
Yeah, I mean, he's been working the post his whole life, you know, got it down to a T down there, and he just does a great job finishing, really focusing down there. A lot of times, you know, as a post, when you're that close to the basket, you can easily, you know, it can slip your head, lose that focus. However, he does a great job finding the backboard, getting it in the hoop.
And as you saw in the last offense possession there for Capen, Maxwell Keller opens things up with a nice 3-point shot. Gives Capen their first points of the evening, and we're looking for Northwest first basket as this is their second offense possession. Sophia, what's going to be a key for Northwest on offense here tonight?
Yeah, I think just looking, you know, to get down into the paint, little jump shots like that just saw from Williams, but, you know, moving the ball around the perimeter, trying to attack. I mean, it's always difficult. The Crusaders have a great defense, you know, a man-to-man defense that applies a lot of pressure. But if they can move the ball quickly, I think that'll be helpful to get some good scoring opportunities.
Now some contact underneath the hoop, but no whistle. And now Nathan Wigging open for 3. That is good. Bang from Nathan Wigging on his first shot of the evening. And Sophia, we haven't seen a whole lot of Wigging here these last couple of games, but what excites you about him as a player?
Yeah, I think he's a great shooter. Always ready, looking for a shot, ready to knock it down. I know he spends hours in the gyms, you know, in the gym before practice, after practice, always working on that shot. And he's also just an aggressive player, has a lot of energy out there and a quick guy, and so great for him to be on the court.
And now first shot, no good. And that will be his only shot. That was an and one opportunity, and so Dominic Shibley brings it up for KMC. And now it looks like Keller loses it. And now in the open court, that is a
nice block by Wigging. Hustling down the court.
Not something you'd really expect from a guard like him, but wow, able to come from behind and block Eli Benning's shot. And Benning will inbound rather than inbound. rather than rebound, I should say, excuse me. And now a nice swing pass falls into the hands of Williams, who's able to knock down the 3-point shot and give Northwest their first lead of the evening. And now Wigging brings it up for KMC, gets it over to Shibley. Shibley surveys. And Sophia, Northwest doing a great job of moving on defense, especially off the ball, not allowing a whole lot of passing lanes to open up for KMC.
Yeah, I mean, I really can see their focus on applying that on-the-ball pressure, and that's something the defense wants to do, you know, kind of speed the offense up, make them make those mistakes, and that'll create a solid defensive possession.
Now Keller, the inbound, gets it into Shibley. Now back to Keller. Keller looks at the baseline, tries to take it, but now a ball deflected. And eventually it looks like it's going to be out of bounds as Eli Benning steps out while touching the ball. And, of course, that results in the other team getting the ball. So KMC will have it on their own side of the court. Or, excuse me, on their opponent's side of the court. And so Wagging takes it up and gets it to Keller. And so we see Northwest really, again, executing well on defense so far. And they've been doing a lot of offensive production as well, which is something we're not typically used to. We're typically used to seeing Northwest be a pretty physical team, great defensive team, but not as much offensive production. So really cool to see them. Really great to see them come out with such a strong offensive front. And Sophia, how crucial do you see that becoming? How crucial do you see that being, I should say, in a win here for Northwest?
Yeah, so Kapaun, we know they're very strong offensively. And so, yeah, you're right. Northwest can do, as best as they can on the defensive end, but Kapaun is going to still find a way to score. And so in order to kind of stay in the game, Northwest is also going to have to find ways to score. And, so far they've been doing a good job, driving, getting to the paint, and trying to get those good shots. And that's something they need to continue to do.
And it looks like an injury now is Jerome Glover limping a little bit, and he asked the ref to take him or to call a timeout so he can get out of the game. And it looks like we'll see some substitutes for Northwest for the first time here tonight as number 1, Jerome Henderson, along with number 13, Sincere Thompson, come on for Northwest. And now the Grizzlies down by 3. Give it to Williams. Williams tries to get inside to Thompson. And Sophia, you can't look at the athletes that Northwest have and not mention the fact that Sincere Thompson and LJ Phillips are two of the team's, or two of the school's most promising football prospects right now, as they both are running backs and have both had tremendous careers so far for Northwest.
Exactly, and you can just see it from their build, how strong they are, how physical they are. And it's great seeing players play multiple sports. A lot of time if a player sticks to one sport, injury can occur or maybe get burnt out or something like that. But it's good, as athletic as they are, that they're sharing their talents with every sport.
Now Williams with a deep three-point shot. That's no good. Rebound by Dalian. Now Wagging gets it over to Shibley. Shibley inside to Ancio. Ancio double-teamed. Able to find Wagging again. Now over to Dalian. Dalian for 3. That's no good. Rebounded by Ancio. Ancio gives Kapaun another opportunity here. And now another swing pass gets into the hands of Dominic Shibley. Dominic Shibley, nice little Euro step. That's no good. And now rebound falls in the hands of Bo Dalian again. And it's going to be a foul on the floor, so the shot will not count.
And props to the entire Kapaun team there for getting their own offensive rebounds. They all of the shots they took were great shots. But getting those rebounds is very crucial in order, make sure you score every possession you have the ball.
And now we see some younger stars come on for Kapaun now as Ancio gets the inbound and puts it into the basket for 2 points. But regardless of that, Sophia, this is more of a typical line that we see from KMC as Corbin Johnson, number 21, near the screen, guarding the ball right now, and that gets swung over, and now Tegan Charles on the ball. And another addition to the lineup is, of course, number 4, William Thingvall. And nice three-point shot here from number 10, David Hudspeth. And now Johnson brings it up. And Sophia, talk about Johnson as a player. What do you like about him? What do you see as promising? Or, just overall, give me a rundown of his itinerary.
Yeah, he does a great job. One of the things I love about his play is that he can see the court really well, try to find those open guys. He also can knock down a 3. And that's always good. And he's very physical. He'll be scrappy, make those dirty plays. He'll try to draw a charge. He does that a lot in the games, and that's something you gotta love to see in a player. And only a sophomore, so can't wait to see what he continues to do the rest of this year in his career.
We apologize for the scoreboard malfunction there. Northwest does have 10 points, score 14-10 here, as we enter the final stages of the first quarter. And Sophia, walk me through your mentality as a player. How crucial is the first quarter of play?
It really can make or break a game. I'm not saying, you get down by a lot. There's plenty of time to come back, but it makes it harder, a lot harder. And the beginning of the game is very important to come out with a ton of energy. Some teams struggle with that, coming out with not so much energy, kind of starting really slow. And that can kind of affect your chemistry as a team and just what you're trying to put forth onto the court.
And now, nice swing pass. Ends up in the hands of Hudspeth, but he's unable to convert on the shot, and now ends up out of bounds off KMC hands. And so now, looks like Williams will inbound under the basket here for Northwest. And ball gets into Benning. Guarded by Johnson, drives, puts up a shot that's no good, and rebound falls back into Northwest possession, and now a three-point shot, this time no good from Henderson. And now Will Thingvall again from three. No good, rebounded by Ancio. Ancio able to get that one to go, and he'll see one more shot at the free throw line. And Ancio off to a hot start now with 4 points already, looking for his fifth.
Yeah, Ancio, getting those rebounds, I've mentioned it in a lot of games before, but he's able to get those rebounds and then finish for his team. He's a great team player.
And now Ancio prepares, again trying to convert the three-point play here and give KMC a 10-point lead. And free throw no good, rebounded by Thompson. And now Benning will bring it up. KMC showing a little bit of pressure here in the half court. Sophia, as a point guard, how much does that affect you as a player, maybe your psyche a little bit, when you see someone pick you up at half court?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of pressure because first off, you want to get the ball up the court. You only have, 10 seconds to get it past that half court line. But you're also, it creates, kind of speeds you up, and you're trying to set up an offense, trying to get things going. It just makes it a little bit more difficult.
Now another foul called here. This will be Northwest third team foul, and it'll be Benning's second personal foul, and something to be aware of, Sophia, as we're only in the first quarter of play, and Benning definitely a crucial aspect of this team.
Yeah, it's always tough, picking up 2 fouls earlier in the game, and like you were saying, very critical for this Northwest team. However, you don't want to pick up a third foul in the first half.
Exactly right. And now Brooks Powers checks in for KMC, and now a rather creative shot there from Corbin Johnson as time expires, but regardless, that'll be no good. And KMC will head in to the second quarter up by 7, score 19-12. And Sophia, give me a quick synopsis of the first quarter, if you will.
Yeah, so in the beginning it was very, both teams kind of back and forth, quick pace, getting some good shots, getting some good looks, knocking them down. And kind of, in the last 2 minutes of play, Kapaun kind of took control of the tempo, took control of the game, able to get some things really going on the offensive end. They do a great job of moving the ball. And then props to Ancio again for, finishing up those missed shots for his team, getting those rebounds and layups. And so I think, Northwest only down by 7, have a great, still in it, only start of the second quarter. And they're just going to have to, pick it up on the defensive end. That's going to be a main focus, and then finish on their shots.
And now we will see KMC come back onto the court here. I believe it'll be their ball to start things up. No, it'll be Northwest. My apologies. And Sophia, if you're Northwest, what's your first step in coming back in this game?
Yeah, and so in this offense set right here, this possession, they got to look to get the best shot possible. They don't want to just throw up anything, give away a possession, and just be very solid with the ball.
Now some solid defense, forces the ball back out beyond the arc. Now Williams with some creative ball handling, gets the basket. An impressive drive there by Williams. And opens up the scoring for Northwest in the second quarter. Now here comes Kapaun for the first time on offense. And they swing it over to Will Thingvall. This will be KMC's first minutes without Will Ancio. And Tegan Charles, wow, a great post presence. Sophia, what is Cape and Woos when they have Ancio off the court?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the focus for, the other team when Ancio on the court is on him. And so that does take, a lot of the defense. It's good and bad. The defense will, mainly focus on Ancio. But the thing is, it's really hard to stop him. And so he's very aggressive. When he gets the ball, he's going to finish, or he's going to find somebody who's going to finish. And so just always great to have him on the court. However, Charles, and earlier in the season when Ancio was hurt, he did a great job filling in for him in that post position. And he's also a great threat because not only does he have some moves down low, it's kind of a guard figure, a power forward position. And he's a tough player to guard.
Exactly right. And Sophia, I quickly want to go back. That was a great effort there by Grant Johnson and Will Thingvall to get that basket to go. And I think that just speaks volumes to how KMC's effort on the boards really impact, especially their offensive production. All those second chance opportunities Kapaun gets really start to add up. And Sophia, what can a second chance opportunity really add in terms of your offensive production?
Yeah, it's great. It kind of keeps the momentum going. A lot of times it's, a lot of times a team can get down if, miss a shot or something like that. However, getting those second chance brings the energy back up and gives your team, it's a team effort. It shows that everyone cares on the court and they want to get the ball again so their team can score and be productive on the offensive end.
And so here comes Northwest. Once again, the Grizzlies down by 8. Still have not yet carved into this KMC lead. Now Max Keller tries to find Will at Thingvall, but that will be out of bounds off of Thingvall's hands. And still a good look from Max Keller, but looks like it'll be Grizzlies ball, and Will Ancio will re-enter the game in favor of Maxwell Keller. And Sophia, going back to how we opened things up talking about how proficient of a scorer Will Ancio is. And really, I mean, for a guy who takes as many shots as he does, it's impressive that he can score on almost 90% of his attempts on the season.
Yeah, I mean, it really shows, like you said, efficiency and, a lot of practice. It shows in the game. If you're going to be that accurate, a lot of practice.
Now a deep shot, this time from Henderson, no good. Rebounded by Charles. And now Kapaun looking to expand their lead beyond 10 points here for the first time tonight. Now a deep three-point shot from Brooks Powers. That's no good. Rebounded by Ancio. Ancio with a mid-range jumper gets that one to go. And yet again, we keep talking about Ancio scoring, but from his footwork in the post to just his mid-range capabilities, you can't ask for much more out of a player.
Yeah, I agree. And going back to his younger years as freshman and sophomore, one of his key shots was the jump shot, and I remember watching him very, very good at knocking that down, around the elbow area. But he's really grown to be great down low, closer to the rim. He always has been, but really developed as the years have gone by and doing a great job.
And Sophia, when you're talking about scoring outside of Ancio, who are the Crusaders going to look for most of the time?
Yeah, I think a big threat that a lot of times goes unnoticed is Will Thingvall. He's very aggressive. He's going to, when he has the opportunity to score, he's going to go and do it, look for those opportunities. And, similar to Ancio, he does get a lot of rebounds. Something he doesn't get enough credit for, being an aggressive player. And another thing that's great about his game is how he runs the court really well. And even if he's not the one scoring, he'll find his players down the court to score.
And Sophia, after another highly contested shot there, something I've got to mention, the refs are doing a great job of letting the guys play here tonight. And I don't know about you, but I am personally a big fan of physical, highly defensive basketball. And, it always puts a smile on my face to see the refs letting teams play. And I noticed that in your game earlier, too.
Yeah, I agree. It's always fun, get a little physical out there. It is a physical sport. And so basketball isn't meant to be, soft. You're meant to play hard out there.
And a soul-grabbing block there by Brooks Powers. It is going to be called a foul, but still a tremendously impressive defensive effort there from the junior. And so that will be on Powers, and that will be his first personal foul. That will be team foul number 3 for KMC. And now Williams will head to the line for 2 shots. Now Williams, first one good. And now Bo Dalian and Dominic Shibley make their return to the court as Corbin Johnson and Brooks Powers head to the bench. And now returning for the Grizzlies is number 5, Eli Benning. And second shot good as well for Williams on that trip to the line. And so now Thingvall brings it up, gets it over to Charles. Charles over to Dalian, now to Shibley. Shibley hesitates now, drives and kicks it back out to Charles. Charles for 3. That is good. The big man showing his range on that trot.
And Charles not afraid to shoot. I mean, there was a man in front of him, but he has a quick release, and he knows when he's going to be able to make those shots.
And now a quick 3-point make there from Northwest. That one coming from William Culbert. And a quick correction there. That's a 2-point basket there by Tegan Charles on the previous possession. But still, impressive range for a big man.
And Coach Egg now calling a timeout here. Gabe, what do you think he's trying to tell his team now? Kapaun up by 8, but it seems, kind of letting Northwest back in a little bit.
And Sophia Kochek, obviously one of the greatest basketball minds that's ever come across the, Kansas landscape. I think right now he's just telling his guys, take a few deep breaths, really try to grasp the reins on this game, and realize that they're in the driver's seat right now. And maybe a quick analogy here. You don't want to have a Chinese fire drill and switch seats all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So just do your best to keep your composure and just take the shots that you as a player are designed to take, rather than the shots you think are open. And just again, keeping your composure is the biggest thing. And this is their game to lose right now. I mean, they have a commanding lead with 8 points. Is that basket earlier from Tegan Charles now corrected to be a 3-point basket?
Yeah.
And so Kapaun does have an 8-point lead right now, and that's a very commanding lead at this stage in the game. And so it's definitely theirs to lose right now, and we'll definitely see how they play this, at least the rest of the half out, if not the rest of the game out. And now another turnover from Northwest here, as that's off the hands of Jerome Glover. And it'll be KMC basketball once again.
And it seems Northwest kind of losing a little bit of momentum on the offensive end. They look pretty strong moving the ball well in the beginning of the game. Just kind of almost lethargic out there. And so if they want to stay in this game, they're going to have to pick it up.
Now Brooks Powers enters for KMC as Will Antio heads to the bench. And, something that often goes overlooked from KMC is just how great of a passing offense they are. They do a great job of making sure to be aware of all passing lanes, having great court vision, at almost every position on the court. And that's something I believe is can be accredited to Coach Eck, but also just these players in general. I mean, they've been coached well from a young age, and they come into Kapaun with such diverse skill sets. But court vision is definitely one that becomes a vital attribute to when competing on the KMC basketball team. And so, Sophia, when it comes to court vision as a point guard, obviously that applies to you a little bit. speak to that a little bit, how court vision can affect your game.
It is really, really important to look up the court. And it's something I love doing. I love finding people running the floor, and I'm able to get them a pass down the court. And it's really important because you got to think, as any point guard or guard, you're capable of dribbling the ball up the court, of course. However, it's just smarter and easier and better for the team to throw it up the court and then give your teammates opportunity to convert for your team.
And now after a little bit of a skirmish on the ground, the referee will call a foul now. And that will be on number 22 of Northwest, Jerome Glover. And that will send Brooks Powers to the line, as that is team foul number 7 for Northwest. So this will be a 1-on-1 opportunity for Powers. First one good. And now Corbin Johnson makes his return for KMC as Tegan Charles heads to the bench. And now Powers, second attempt, no good off the front iron. And now a loose ball gets batted back inbounds by Thingball, but it'll be Northwest possession now. And now a deep three-point ball from Williams. That's no good. Rebounded by Johnson. And now Dalian gets it over to Shibley. And now Shibley nearly intercepted. That's saved. And then off the hands of Dalian.
Great hustle there by Dalian, trying to save the ball for his team. But now it's going to be Northwest's ball. And here comes Williams for Northwest. And the Grizzlies, as you said, Sophia, struggling a little bit on offense. And, you know, they've been great on the defensive side of the ball. And, again, I'm not a basketball player and I'm not a basketball coach, so I won't pretend like I'm too great of a basketball mind. But, you know, they've been playing great defense. And, you know, most of the time one would assume that good defense leads into good offense. What are you seeing that's preventing that? Yeah, I mean, most of the time that is very true. But I just see making simple little mistakes, turning the ball over a lot. I think that's the main thing they've been struggling with on the offensive end. And it almost seems as they're not sure what they're trying to accomplish with their offense, kind of having some trouble looking for their scorers and then scoring.
Now, and Sophia, you can't talk about Northwest basketball without talking about the physicality. Is the fact that, you know, initially the refs are kind of letting the players play a little bit, and now there's a little bit more of a quick whistle, so to speak.
Yeah.
Do you think that might have an effect on what they've been doing so far?
Yeah, it might. Sometimes it's hard for a player to adjust when something like that happens. Kind of throw them off a little bit.
And now after Dominic Shibley's missed opportunity in transition, it looks like Northwest will have the basketball on their end of the court. And here we go as Williams drives to the basket, and that's a nice up and under for the 2 points. That cuts the Cape in the lead to single digits now. And now Thingbo has it in the corner. Tries to get inside, but doesn't find much of a lane. Now Dalian has a shot, but decides not to take it. Nice little behind-the-back pass, it looked like.
Oh, great pass there by Dalian, but a charge is going to be called.
And, yes, that will be a charge. And team foul number 4 for KMC. And, Sophia, never something you want to see on such a great play like that, but great job by Northwest. You know, charges are, you know, almost a lost art.
Yeah,
in basketball.
I agree.
So, it always, you know, puts a smile on me. I already talked about how I'm a big fan of the physical aspect of basketball, and so it always puts a smile on my face when, you know, a player puts his body on the line to get his team back the ball.
Yeah, and it's not an easy thing to do. You know, got to get set up and then be prepared to take that fall.
Now Keller gets it to Johnson. Johnson gets it to Keller. Now Keller is going to draw the foul. Team foul number 8. However, it will be 2 shots regardless, as it was a shooting foul.
And so far, Kapaun 50% from the free throw line tonight.
And Keller unable to convert on the first shot. And Sophia, the Grizzlies have cut the Kapaun lead now to 7 points. Definitely an overcomable lead, come halftime and then in the second half.
Yeah, and these last 19 seconds will be huge for Kapaun, or for Northwest, having that opportunity to cut the lead even more as they head into the half, like you said.
And Keller unable to score at the free throw line there. And now looks like a fight for the basketball, and it will be possession KMC. However, timeout going to be called. And that will be KMC's second timeout of the game. They'll have 3 remaining. And Sophia, talk about what Kapaun's trying to accomplish here with this last possession.
Yeah, I mean, they have a chance up by 7. They could, with a 3, extend the lead again, or really just being careful with the ball. They don't want to make any mistakes, turn the ball over, give Grizzlies a chance to score before halftime. So just being solid, running through their offense. They're in no rush.
And we'll see who's the inbounder here. Looks like it'll be Powers. I was going to say, Sophia, whenever Corbin Johnson is inbounding the ball, especially under the basket, they like to run that little alley-oop play.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like that's going to be the play here, but we'll see. As Johnson gets the inbound, dribbles it out, gets it back to Powers. Now back to Johnson. Johnson surveys, finds Will Thingvall. Will Thingvall gets it to Johnson. Johnson finds Keller. Keller with 2 seconds left, puts up a shot. That's no good, and that will expire the remaining time, as the score at halftime will be 32-25. And Sophia, we will step aside here for the halftime performance by the KMC Pommies, and join us back in about 10 to 15 minutes for the second half of action. Hello and welcome back to Cape Mount Carmel for the second half of action in the KMC versus Northwest matchup here tonight. And it looks like a quick turnover there by Cape and gives Northwest their first opportunity on offense. And a near turnover is now a three-point shot and make, this time from Benning. And now the KMC lead cut down to just 4 points. And now KMC looks to respond on offense as Tegan Charles surveys top of the key, gets it over to Grant Johnson, and Sophia with that three from Benning. That changes the whole, playing field of the game right now.
Yeah, that is absolutely huge. Northwest only down by 4 now. And, right away, starting the second half, that just makes this, like you said, a whole nother game. And props to Northwest for coming out hot, bringing that energy.
And now Ancio at the line for 2 shots. First one no good. That'll be the first personal foul for Northwest here in the second half. And so, Sophia, we talked about some early foul trouble for some of Northwest's key players. The three that stick out the most, of course, Benning, number 5, number 22, Jerome Glover, and, of course, number 24, LJ Phillips. 3 of the 4 major scorers for Northwest, all with 2 fouls.
Yeah, that's huge. They're going to have to be careful. Obviously, still want to be aggressive on the defensive end, and they have to do that against a team like Kapaun. But, yeah, just being careful not to draw those fouls, get those fouls there.
Nice little mid-range jumper there from Tegan Charles. Extends the Kapaun lead back up to 7 points. And so now Williams kicks back over to Benning. Benning, layup, no good. Rebounded by Charles. Charles up to Shibley. Shibley, now Will Dingbo with a nice alley-oop play. Woo! Nice feed from Shibley there, and just amazing and gorgeous finish there from Will Dingbo. And another missed shot here from Northwest. Nice ball dribbling there from Will Dingbo, and he tries to go coast to coast, runs into a brick wall in the forward of the Northwest defense. And now a nice pass from Shibley once again opens it up for Will Thingvall. Opens up for Tegan Charles, and then Corbin Johnson.
Charles Thingvall Johnson with the finish.
And as I'm stumbling over my words, it looks like a timeout will be called, and this time it will be Northwest, and so they will have 3 remaining in the contest. And Sophia out of the gates, a lot of offense, a lot of just a lot of punches rolling for both sides. What are you seeing?
Yeah, so starting off that 3 from Northwest, kind of look for the Grizzlies to have the momentum there, but Kapaun, they're like, no, we're not going to allow that. And then they go on a few runs and extend the lead to 11 now. And so great job by them not allowing that momentum shift early from the Grizzlies to affect their game. They maintained or retained that control of the pace of play, that tempo, and did a great job of extending that lead again.
Exactly right. And, Sophia, I personally believe this is where the pressure starts to get put on in a sense, just because the opening stages of either half, but particularly the second half, can really have an immense impact on the outcome of a game. And, especially just as you said there, a strong scoring run and a strong and significant lead can decide a basketball game, even in the third quarter.
Yeah, and, there's not as much time left as the first. Kind of talked about a little bit. If you get down in the first half, you have more time to make a comeback. I'm trying to get back in the game, but don't have that opportunity in the second half.
And now Benning kicks over to Williams. Williams for 3. That's no good. Rebounded by Johnson. Johnson brings it up. Kicks it up to Tegan Charles. Tegan Charles out to Dominic Shibley. Now Shibley over to Johnson. Johnson, nice feed. This time going to be fumbled there by Will Thingvall. And here comes Northwest. Hudspeth, coast to coast. Goaltending going to be called, but regardless, the ball goes in anyway. Still great defensive effort there from Will Thingvall.
Yeah, and good job by Hudspeth recognizing nice little spin move there, trying to and finish at the basket.
And now Will Thingvall heads to the benches. Maxwell Keller re-enters the game for KMC. And Corbin Johnson kicks it over to Shibui. Kapaun looking to extend their lead to double digits once again. And this time, Hudspeth with the interception. And a foul going to be called here on Corbin Johnson. That'll be his first personal foul, team foul number 1 for KMC in the second half.
Yeah, and Johnson recognizing he fouled him as soon as it happened, and so Powers will now come in for him.
And so now Hudspeth brings up for Northwest. Benning tries to get something to happen. He kicks it back out, and now a mid-range jumper. Good from number 22, Jerome Glover. Now Brooks Powers stripped, and that falls out of bounds, and it still will remain with KMC. And another scoreboard correction there as the score is now 32-39. Sophia, 7-point comeback. What are you thinking for Northwest?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely doable. It starts here, though, on the defensive end. Hard to stop a guy like Ancio there, but sending him to the line. But, yeah, just being aggressive on the defensive end. Like we mentioned, some of them in foul trouble, as that is Glover's third foul now. However, just, staying solid on defense, trying to force the offense to make those turnovers. And then, for the Grizzlies on the offensive end, they need to be patient. There's not, right now, down by 8, not an 8-point shot. Be patient, run some offense, get to the basket. And that's where I've seen a lot of success for the Grizzlies is, getting to the paint, hitting some of those floaters or jump shots.
Now Benning, nice inside pass to Williams, and Williams just decides to throw it off of Tegan Charles, whether intentional or not. Looks like Northwest will retain possession. Now Williams looks to inbound, finds Benning. Benning guarded by Powers. Picks up his drill and kicks it back out. And we'll see Northwest pass it around now. And Sophia, I feel like in the second half here, Northwest playing a lot more of a methodical, well-thought-out offense rather than the fast-paced, kind of unorganized offense we saw in the first half.
Yeah, I agree, and I think it's smart here, them trying to find those good shots. Good take there, just couldn't get it to go, but taking their time is going to be very important and not throwing up useless shots or forced shots.
And so now Brooks Powers dumps off to Ancio. Ancio going to be fouled on his way to the basket. So that'll be team foul number 3 for the Grizzlies. And that'll be team foul number 4 for Glover. And so we keep emphasizing foul trouble. Now Glover on the verge of having to retire for the evening. It looks like he will retire for now. He heads to the bench. And now the inbounds pass goes to Ancio. And that results in nothing. As the ball ends up out of bounds once again, it will still be Kapaun ball. As Powers will inbound. Powers gets to Shibui. Shibui looks around, gets to Keller. Keller now to Powers. Powers takes the baseline. Nice reversal layup. That is good.
And Powers, great finisher at the rim. He finds those different angles down low, as a guard, and does a great job of executing.
Now, nice pass in transition from Ancio, and Keller going to be fouled on the layup, and so that will be another foul from Northwest, their 4th team foul, and that will be on Benning, his 3rd personal foul, and so yet another Northwest player with 3 or more fouls, Sophia.
Yeah, and that's it's going to be tough down to the stretch when you're in that foul trouble. It's very difficult for a team to get things going.
And now Keller able to hit his first shot here. And second one goes well. And so Sincere Thompson will bring it up for Northwest. And he gets it over to to Henderson. Henderson over to Williams. Williams good on the three-point basket. Now Charles going to face some contact here on the take, but that's going to be no whistle, and now Northwest ball.
And Williams doing a great job tonight, Gabe. He has 16 points. He's been, a huge threat on the offensive end, looking to score. Being the general on the court for his team, setting up that offense and helping them out.
As you said, Williams leads his team in scoring, and leading Kapaun in scoring is, of course, number 0, Will Ancio. He has been a crucial factor for the Crusaders here tonight, and really showing out for his team. Right? That's about all you can say for that.
Yeah.
And now Thompson gets it over to Henderson. Henderson hands it off to Benning. Benning gets it over to Williams. Williams, nice lob, and Henderson able to convert the alley-oop. Johnson over to Powers. Powers inside to Ancio. Ancio with another basket, gives him 12. Now here comes Benning, really pushing the tempo. Benning, nice pass to Calvert. Calvert's pass out of bounds, and it will be Kapaun ball. Will Thingvall re-enters the game for KMC as Tegan Charles heads to the bench.
And also on the court now for the Grizzlies, number 24, L.J. Phillips.
And now Will Thingvall gets it to Powers. As Powers gets it to Keller. Keller over to Johnson. Johnson now to Thingvall in the corner. And just, again, we discussed it in the first half, but KMC's passing on offense is unparalleled. I mean, it's almost unseen in the Kansas landscape right now. Just an entirely selfless offense, and this time a turnover, as now Williams in the open court able to convert the layup, and it looks like Corbin Johnson may have hit the backboard a little bit there. Just shows you his vertical.
Still, trying to get up there, do what he can.
And now Williams, Tayshaun Williams, fouls and then appears to be having some kind of ankle injury as he collapses on the sideline.
And, never want to see a player go out like that. Hopefully he's okay.
That'll be team foul number 5.
Yeah.
And now a near turnover from KMC ends up in an alley-oop play as Thingvall able to convert on the feed from Powers. And Sophia, after that Williams foul, with 5 team fouls, Northwest on the verge of pushing Kapaun into the bonus as we're only in the third quarter. And Sophia, that would almost be a kiss of death for Northwest trying to come back in this game.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be difficult. You never want to give a team free shots, and it also just kills momentum. And speaking of momentum, Thingvall with a 3 there. Extends
the lead back up to 10 points. And now Benning for 3. That's no good. Rebounded by Powers. Powers stripped, and now a loose ball. And now up the court to Ancio. Ancio goes up, and that's a layup.
I was expecting the dunk, but
nice little touch off the glass for 2 points.
Saw the defense there. Smart decision there to go for a layup.
It was a business decision there by Ancio. But regardless, it looks like Thompson will be the ball handler right now for Northwest with under 15 seconds left to play in the quarter. And it looks like Northwest is trying to take up as much time as possible in the quarter. As Benning now with a nice little drive to the basket for 2 points. And now Will Thingvall. Basket going to be no good. And travel going to be called. Wow.
So now Northwest with a chance to get a quick shot off here. 2.6 seconds remaining.
And now Benning from half court. No good. Off the right iron. But regardless, after 3, score 53-43. KMC definitely in the driver's seat in this one, Sophia. And as we talked about earlier, to use my analogy again, all they're looking to do is prevent, the Chinese fire drill and, keep Northwest out of the driver's seat.
Yeah, and they've been doing a great job, maintaining that 10-point lead for majority of the game, and that's all you can ask for. Northwest playing really good on the defensive end and then converting their shots on the offensive end, but Kapaun able to keep that lead.
And Sophia.
And real quick, shout out to one of my second grade teachers, Miss Morgan Clark. Thank you for tuning in to all of our games, and thank you to all the fans who have tuned in. We appreciate the support, and we love broadcasting for you guys.
Of course, and Sophia, just immense support from the KMC community, and we're always grateful for that. And so here we go. We'll get started with the fourth quarter as Northwest has possession first. We see Tayshawn Williams return to the court for Northwest after that scary ankle injury. He does have 3 fouls, however. So something to keep in mind is Henderson able to hit that 3, open things up. But Sophia, talking about some crucial players, 3 or more fouls for 3 different players on Northwest, and of course, Jerome Glover with 4 personal fouls, and he's off the court right now, but when he's been on, he's been a crucial part of Northwest's defense, and so it's going to be interesting to see how they use him going forward.
Exactly right, and now Northwest trying to pick up the speed here.
And now Tayshawn Williams for 3. That's no good. Rebounded by Henderson. Henderson steps out of bounds, and it'll be KMC ball.
And now Dalian checking in. Give Charles a break for the Crusaders.
And now Johnson brings it up for KMC. Now Powers gets to Antio. Antio, nice feed inside to Dalian, who kicks it back out to Johnson. Johnson back to Antio. Antio back to Dalian. And Sophia, can you speak a little bit to just what it's like to be on a selfless team like KMC, as now Corbin Johnson opens up a 3-point shot that's no good?
Yeah, I think, they've played it. They really work on the chemistry a lot and building that trust with each other. And, they're not only friends, on the court in the game of basketball, but also outside of practice and games. And so that's great. Building that team chemistry, trusting each other. And you're right on in saying they're a selfless team. Do a great job moving the ball around, finding the open guy, and at the end of the day, they're just here for a win.
Exactly right. Now after another Northwest turnover, it'll be KMC ball once again. And now KMC looking to get back that double-digit lead. And now Will Thingvall does just that, as not only does that give KMC a 12-point lead, I should say, but Sophia, that also pushes Will Thingvall into the leading scorer position on KMC.
Yeah, he's really heated up in the second half, doing a great job knocking down those shots.
And now Tayshawn Williams. Pass goes out of bounds. And referees discussing here, could be a potential foul. And it looks like possession will remain with KMC. However, timeout will be called this time by Northwest. They'll have 2 remaining. And Sophia, Northwest down by 12. And you hate to say or count a team out. However, with 2 fouls away from putting Kapaun into the bonus, down by 12 points, only 2 timeouts remaining. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's going to be tough. It's definitely doable, but a team like Kapaun has been in this position multiple times with, double-digit lead. in this fourth quarter, and they're comfortable, and they're just not going to let up. When I say comfortable, they've been in this position before, but they're not going to get what's the word I'm looking for? Relaxed. They're going to keep going, try to extend the lead even more, and that's hard for Northwest. But Northwest, we've seen quite a few runs from them during this game, and so they're capable of cutting the lead.
Exactly right. Now Antio kicks it over to Johnson. Johnson over to Powers. And Sophia, I think you're exactly on point there. I don't believe KMC is going to get complacent or put themselves in a position to lose this game. I mean, we talked about this very early on in the game that after they got that initial large lead, and now another puzzling turnover from Northwest. But regardless, we talked about this very early on. As with that initial substantial lead, it was KMC's game to lose, and they've done a great job not doing so. They've stayed in the driver's seat and looked to put themselves in a great position to win this game. And so now Antio, top of the key, surveys, gets over to Will Thingwall. Will Thingwall for three. That's no good. And foul going to be called on Northwest. And that will be on Tayshawn Williams, I believe.
And now Grizzlies only one foul away from sending Kapaun to the, free throw line as Brooks Powers with the and one.
And that does send Kapaun to the bonus, as that is Northwest's 7th team foul. And so now Powers heads to the line looking to convert on the and one opportunity, and he does just that. And so now score 61-46. As Tayshawn Williams, 18 points on the night. And looks to extend out with a deep three. That's no good. And rebounded by Will Thingwall. And now Will Thingwall brings it up for KMC. Gets into Antio. Antio over to Johnson. Johnson over to Dalian inside to Will Thingwall, who kicks back to Johnson. Johnson for three. That is good.
Knocked down by Johnson.
And now Hudspeth. Nice find for Glover. Three-point shot. No good. Rebounded by Will Thingwall once again. Now Will Thingwall to Will Antio. Over to Johnson. Johnson over to Dalian. Dalian pump fakes, takes the baseline, and now kicks it to Antio, who kicks it back to Will Thingwall. Nice find from Antio. And now, after a loose ball, Dalian has it under the basket. He spins and is fouled. That'll be team foul number 8 for Northwest.
And great ball movement there by KMC. Unable to convert on a layup. However, Bo Dalian now going to be at the free throw line.
And now it looks like Sincere Thompson makes his return for Northwest. First basket good. And now Dalian will get one more, as this one no good. And here comes Benning of Northwest. Tries to find Thompson, but that is picked off by Powers. Powers gets to Johnson, and Johnson able to score in transition.
I was looking for a off the backboard alley-oop that game.
It was a real possibility.
Yeah, it was.
And now a foul going to be called here. Looks like that'll be on Antio. And that'll be only KMC's second team foul. I mean, Sophia, when you're talking about that, you're talking about a team who's been playing rather efficiently and proficiently on defense.
Yeah, I mean, I know they work defense. Coach Eck has them work defense all the time. And, when you do that, you become really good at it. And it's very impressive to see them, like you said, not have a lot of fouls.
That's right. I mean, this shows how well taught and how disciplined they are as players. And now inside, that's Powers. Powers with another basket. And whistle blown here as KMC takes a timeout, and they will have 2 remaining. Sophia, walk me through what it's like to be in this position as a player. You're up big. I mean, having just won on your senior night, how does that feel?
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible to win on your senior night. Very important. All the fans out here coming to support you. It means a lot. And for these players out there, especially the seniors, you just got to be, I know I was just very thankful for my team playing their hearts out, doing it for each other, and that's the same thing for the guys here. See them giving well, the camera's not over there, but they were giving each other high fives, and so they're ready to finish out this game.
Exactly right. And now the 2:53 will see Northwest on offense. As trying to reserve every second they can with the inbound. And Benning tries to find Thompson. That's deflected now after a loose ball. Looks like Will Thingvall able to come up with it. Will Thingvall surveys, decides to take it for himself, and unable to convert on the way up. But Ancio there and can't convert as well. And now Benning gets inside the Glover, and Glover able to get the and one basket, and that gives Ancio his second personal foul. Team foul number 3 for KMC. Oh, no, excuse me, team foul number 4. Now Will Ancio retires for what could possibly his last time of the senior night. So, of course, have to give our props to him. He ends with 14 points as it stands right now. Of course, he could always come back into the game. But regardless, Sophia, what do you think of Ancio's performance so far here tonight?
Yeah, I think he did great. Working well down low, but also one of the things Ancio does really well is he'll recognize if he's able to finish down low, has the opportunity, but if not, he'll kick it out to his teammates. They'll knock down a 3 or something like that, so great job by him.
Now 9th team foul for Northwest and 3rd personal foul for Jerome Henderson, number 1 on Northwest. And Powers has shown his incredible skill at the free throw line here tonight, both in getting there and executing at the free throw line. And he's able to knock down once again and able to knock down both this time. And there comes Benning, who races up the floor, gets it over to Williams. Williams stripped by Powers. And now Powers, again, having a time of his life, this time turns it over, and now looks like Williams able to knock that traditional layup down, no problem. That's Corbin Johnson. Nice move, fakes, and the runner no good. Putback no good as well. And now Benning with the rebound takes it up from Northwest. Nice inside feed for LJ Phillips. And Phillips intercepted that time by Nathan Wagging. Nathan Wagging in transition. Unable to get the layup to go. He gets his own rebound, however, now foul called. And foul going to be called on Corbin Johnson. His second personal. Team foul number 5 for KMC. And so now Williams will bring it up. And Sophia, you hate to say it, but, Kapaun picking up some fouls here, maybe being a little relaxed on defense. A little bit more loose.
Yeah, and, luckily they have a good lead right now, 18 points. But still not wanting to relax, wanting to play hard, finish the game out. And, in the City League, they've been dominating, absolutely dominating. But as they, head into that postseason where the games are getting closer, it is crucial for them to stay locked in until the buzzer.
Exactly right. And After that great hustle play there by Nathan Waking, KMC will have the ball as it heads out of bounds off the hands of Jerome Henderson. That being said, so I just want to take a second here as Brooks Powers retires for the evening. What a phenomenal game by Powers. A creative scorer and an excellent defender. He also did a great job on the board, Sophia, but just all around great showing from Brooks Powers.
I agree.
And now Maxwell Keller underneath the basket, able to convert.
Great find there by Dalian.
And Sophia, as the final seconds tick away on this game here tonight, you can't help but wonder about Friday night's performance against Wichita Heights. Kapaun, of course, 17-1, and that only loss coming against Heights at home. And so Kapaun will go on the road on Friday night, looking to get not only their 19th win of the season and secure a top 2 spot in the 5A West Sub-State playoffs. However, bigger picture, Sophia, if KMC wins on Friday night, they will be named co-champions for the Wichita City League.
Yeah, and that'll be huge. And if something is up, or something like that is up for grabs, obviously, the team, they're going to play their heart out. They play their heart out every game, but special and trying to get that revenge is going to be huge, and it'll be a very exciting game.
Exactly right now. Benning, second shot up and good. As now 11 seconds and change remaining as Corbin Johnson looks to dribble it out. And Sophia with that. Looks like Kapaun will come away with the win. And final score going to be 75-54.
And great job by KMC finishing it up on their senior night tonight.
And Sophia, just want to take a second now. Of course, this is our senior night as well.
Yes, it is.
We will have 2 more games, hopefully, the broadcast for you in the playoffs. But I again wanted to take a moment here. Growing up, I was always a big fan of basketball, and I always watched a lot of games on TV and played every chance I could. But personally, I was never the star that you were, just quite. And
Thanks,
of course, I don't like to blame the injury I had. But, regardless of that, I never really got the opportunity to go play under the lights, and so just being able to have a small piece of the game that I could be a part of, it really means a lot to me. And I not only have you to thank, and of course Mr. Jesse Bernal, who got me into the business, so to speak, and Mr. Will Hebert, who has helped me every step of the way this season. But Coach Steve Eck and Weston Charts, I've commentated both football and basketball here at KMC, so of course I have to commentate or have to show my gratitude to both of them. But most of all, I just want to extend my gratitude and thankfulness to all of you watching, not only tonight, but to all the games I've broadcasted here at Cape, and it really means a lot to me to feel and see you guys' support. Before the game, they had a little recognition for us, and truthfully, it meant a lot to me, and I've never had a moment that has touched me more here at Cape and Mount Carmel. So I really do. I thank you all, and I thank the fans, and I thank my parents and my family, my friends for supporting me, and hopefully get to come back here someday and maybe even bigger broadcaster. So
yeah, that would be awesome. Well said, Gabe. I agree with everything you said. Mr. Hebert, Mr. Bernal, thank you very much for everything you've done for us, setting up everything, and also shout out to our cameramen for always filming the games. And like you said, just been a great experience. Obviously, I'm fortunate enough to be able to, play there down on the court. But something like this broadcasting has been a true blessing. So thank you to all the fans out there for supporting us through this journey.
And with that, will not be our last, but certainly one of the most meaningful. Final score again, 74-54 here. Kapaun gets a W. And with that, I wish you a good night. My name is Gabriel Breinbach.
And I'm Sophie Jamino. Have a great night.